So the trade war between China and the US is intensifying. How can Canada make the best of this situation? We're joined now by a University of Waterloo professor who says this country could thrive in Donald Trump's trade war world. We're joined by Victor Tsui. He is professor of entrepreneurship, innovation and global strategy at the Conrad Research Excellence Chair at the University School of Business. Professor, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me, Andy.
Before we get into the implications for Canada, just comment on what you are seeing in this trade conflict between the US and China. Apparently, the two sides not negotiating, just escalating their tariff walls.
Oh, thanks for this great question. This, in our research, is called the Red Queen effect, meaning that the two parties are engaged in a cycle of strategic action and retaliation just to keep their position.
Right. And how, I mean, obviously, no superpower wants to be seen to be weak. So is there room for compromise? Presumably there are the famous back channels operating and they're trying to get out of particularly damaging measures.
I guess you're right. In order to reach some kind of agreement, there must be negotiation in addition to retaliation, because retaliation in a trade war only sustains the tension.
Broadly, the structure of global value chains gives America plenty of leverage because a lot of countries depend on the US market far more than America depends on them.
Absolutely right. And that gives the United States a leverage in this trade war because many countries depend on the United States more than vice versa. And these countries, because the United States is imposing different tariff rates to different countries, giving them uneven advantage. So these countries are actually competing against each other for a better deal to get access to the United States markets.
But China does have leverage in this situation.
Absolutely. As the primary rival of the United States, and China and the United States are so mutually dependent than any other bilateral relationship. And that interdependence gives China the leverage to retaliate effectively.
Turning to Canada, you say we have to start thinking more seriously about economic sovereignty, because in many ways, we are captive to the US economy. We don't have our own domestic auto sector. Our beef exports are subordinate to the US beef industry. So you say this is an opportunity for Canada to really stand on its own 2 feet economically.
Absolutely. With 20% of our GDP tied to exports to one single country, which is the United States, we don't really have economic sovereignty. And as the two superpowers are competing fiercely against each other, I think this is our unique opportunity to claim our economic sovereignty.
One thing that you say we should take seriously, and I think you're not the only person saying this, is that we can become a magnet for the world's talent. I mean, already you've probably seen our university health network is interested in poaching health technology talent from the US, but you think we shouldn't just be going after brilliant people from America, but worldwide?
Absolutely. As the geopolitical tension between the two superpowers rises, it's our great opportunity to attract talents worldwide, because the rivalry between the superpowers actually prohibits the free flow of the brightest minds. So we should attract them. I think it's time for our policymakers to act now to reform our immigration policy to attract all the top talents to Canada.
So you would insist on a higher level of education, for example, in immigrants?
Absolutely. I think we should invest in education system. We should leverage on high quality talents from across the world.
I think you have a Chinese background. Can you tell us, how do young people, technologists view Canada compared to America? I mean, there's more money in the USA.
Yes, that's absolutely an impression that everybody has in China. But I think we're uniquely positioned now because of the rivalry between the United States and China. So Canada can be the more secure place, the haven for talents to establish themselves, to start up their ventures, and to skill up. That will be converted to our sustained competitive advantage.
The viewers are sick of hearing me talk about this, but intellectual property is pretty well the most valuable thing in the modern world economy. But we've been doing things like bringing in foreign battery manufacturers without insisting that they move the IP to this country. Do you think that should be an essential angle to our industrial strategy? If you don't bring the research and the intellectual property to this country, we don't want you.
Well, I think that's a great question, but Canada is not short of talents and technological innovation and IP. The problem that we face for a long time is we're not taking advantage of our IP. We don't have the largest market that would, such as the United States and China have, but we do have IP, we do have talents. Our strategy should leverage on that advantage. For example, as the geopolitical forces are prohibiting investment in the two superpowers, we should revolutionize our investment policy and strategies to channel capital into our Canadian startups so that we can stop the brain drain to Silicon Valley or to China and turn Canada to be the magnet of innovation and entrepreneurship.
Would you twist the arms of our big pension funds and make them put more money into Canada?
Well, I'm not in a position to do that, but I think the politicians should do that.
You'd like to see them, yeah, because, I mean, they'll say, well, we have this duty to earn returns around the world, but do you think they should be obliged to be a bit more patriotic?
I think we should take more bold and strategic actions now. Don't wait anymore. This is our opportunity to reclaim our economic sovereignty.
Thank you very much, Professor. Really appreciate it. Victor Tsui is Professor of Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Global Strategy at the Conrad Research Excellence Chair at the University of Waterloo.